conversation I'll have regularly with players when meeting them for the first time will revolve around the idea of swinging the putter straight back and straight through. And this will be something a player will come in with as their concept of how they'd like the putter to move. Now, I can see the allure of this, the idea that if the putter just swings in a straight line relative to the line we're trying to hit the golf ball in, then surely we're going to increase the chance of the ball starting in that direction. And there's definitely some logic there. However, from my experience of measuring players' putting strokes on Sand Putt Lab back in my studio, players can swing the putter pretty straight, but they struggle to not rotate the putter face whilst doing it. And the challenge there becomes you've got a putter swinging in a straight line and a putter face that's rotating quite heavily. So the challenge comes that the putter can swing in a straight line and players can manage to achieve this. However, they don't then keep the putter face square to the intended start line. And the putter face, in terms of start line, does 90% plus of the work. So the thing we need to prioritise is actually returning the face back to where it started. Now, there'll be lots of common traits I'll see within a player's setup and stroke that lead them into trying to swing the putter into a straight line. And what I'd like to try to do is maybe explain what they are. So if this is a concept that you have within your putting and it's something you'd like to move away from, this tip should be helpful to help you do that. So within the setup position, things I would typically see would be elbows rotated away from the body, so almost pointing the elbows out from the torso here. That gives us lots of freedom to move these joints, which in turn can allow the putter to swing in a straight line. From this down the line position here, we would typically see players stood quite close to the golf ball, hands hanging inside of their shoulder line at address, so there really isn't much space down here, and that's going to force then somewhat the putter to swing to the outside on the way back and then down the line on the way through. Once we get into the movement, typically what you'll see from the head position would be the idea that during the backswing, the right elbow works away from the body and the head works towards the target, and then almost the opposite movement in the downswing, head backing up, left elbow moving towards the target. And as I say, these things will allow the sweet spot to travel in a straight line, but it will be rotating whilst it does that. And that breeds all sorts of inconsistencies when we get back to impact. So the simple setup point, or the simple way I would go about trying to cure that with a player, would be to try and understand what the setup conditions need to be. So thinking here, we'd come into the golf ball, we'll just let our arms hang, and that's going to give us a decent idea of where our hands now are centered beneath our shoulders. That puts us in a pretty good position where we've now got some space here between the grip of the putter and my thighs, and that's going to allow me to get the putter to move on to a bit of an arc. The second component would be thinking about connecting the arms to the body. So if we were to stand upright and imagine we were holding a tray of drinks, we've got some connection here now between my upper arms and my rib cage. And the idea there would be now that we've got that connection and we're not going to let the elbows work away from the body during the stroke. We're going to feel like our elbows work a lot more around our rib cage. And one of the feelings I might have there would be the idea of my spine staying vertical, my head staying in the center, and just feeling I turn around my spine angle. So when we come into the setup position to hit the ball, your checkpoints really would be let your left arm hang, and that's roughly where we want it to sit on the putter. We're not too close, we're not too far away. Once we're in there, we're going to create that sensation of the upper arms being connected to the torso, and we're going to feel as though that all moves as one unit, so we're not increasing and moving the elbows away from the torso during the stroke. And then an overarching feeling there down in the address position could be, let's just keep the head nice and centered. That will help us to pivot around it, rather than that sensation we described earlier of the head rocking towards the target in the backswing and away from the target in the forward swing. So we'll go through those checkpoints there. Left arm's hanging down onto the grip, putter connected into my body. I'll have one little practice stroke here, feeling that connection and that rotation around my spine. We'll come down into the golf ball, trying to keep that head nice and centered, roll the putt up towards the hole. I think that would be a really nice tip. If you see straight back and straight through as a concept that you're trying to employ in your putting, but you're not having much success, give this a go. I think it could be a real benefit next time you get on the golf course. Head over to Golf Prize YouTube channel where you can find this tip along with a variety of tips to help you improve your putting next time you play.